Redbed here. Ford has decided to come back to Formula One. They left Formula One in 2004, so we're going to talk about a little bit about their return in this video. They've decided to join Red Bull in 2026. This relationship could really flourish as both partners bring something to the table the other wants. Never mind, Ford has 155 Grand Prix wins, 12 driver titles, and 10 constructor championships. With the Ford Cosworth DFV, which racked up championships from 1967 to 1983, the Cosworth DFV engine is legendary with winning driver's titles with Jackie Stewart, Emerson Fittipaldi, and Mario Andretti. How will the partnership work, you ask? Dietrich Mateschitz, the late owner of Red Bull, created a powertrain division for Red Bull in the Milton Keynes area of the UK. And they presumably learned a lot from their relationship with Honda. So now Ford doesn't need to conjure up a whole new engine. They need to help with the 350 kilowatt electric motor and its associated software. That's the core of the 2026 F1 technical regulations. New F1 regulations, which also require their power units to run on 100% sustainable fuels. Changes to the power unit regulations for 2026 will mean more run on sustainable fuels and with a 350 kilowatt electric motor that is 3 times the electrical power generated by the current hybrid engines. Also, subscribe to the channel and please like the video. Like and subscribe. Ford CEO Jim Farley had some words to say about Ford joining Red Bull in Formula One. Here's how it started to click for me. When we started getting serious about EVs about 3 years ago, we realized that the aero was going to be the most important differentiator in the physical product. The battery is so heavy and so expensive that anyone who could come up with the best aero will make the battery smaller, which means lower cost and greater affordability. Anyone can make an EV. But if you want to make money on it, you better minimize the size of the battery. To do that, you need better aerodynamics than anybody else. So we had to recruit, and where do you get the best aero people? In Formula One. So I had to get these guys anyway, to win in our production car business. Christian and the others need, from 2026, to have the best energy density in their batteries, the best control software for their battery cell. And we've got really good at that stuff because of the R&D and investment we've been making. In the end, it was, you need this and I need that. Let's make it work. Ford are investing an impressive $50 billion on EV development and electrification. Red Bull can have access to this. Ford's return was never on the radar for F1, but when the new engine regulation were unveiled for 2026, that's when Ford seriously considered a return to F1. Jim Farley of Ford also said, we make 5 million cars per year, we're adding 2 million units. Even in the 1920s, Ford never grew like it's going to grow in the next few years. I have a lot of EVs to sell. Who's a better advocate? A Max, a Checo, or a Daniel? Or a Hollywood star I hire? Christian Horner of Red Bull had a meeting with Ford Global Motorsports boss Mark Rushbrook. After the meeting, this is what he had to say. I asked him exactly what Red Bull will get from this deal. We'll get access to all the R&D on the hybrid technology, particularly with the battery cell and software. This is an area that an independent engine manufacturer in F1 would be a little bit exposed on, compared to Mercedes, Ferrari, Renault, and Audi. Now we have support of a major OEM in that area that requires huge investment. Mark Rushbrook, who works at Ford running their NASCAR program, Mustang GT3 car, and their participation in drag racing and NHRA. He actually had this to say. We're not going into F1 all guns blazing trying to get into everywhere on the car. We're going into this very strategically. This is not about the logo on the side of the car or how big the logo is. Marketing is part of it, of course, but this is not about brand identity. This is about technical learning and the connection with a race team with its drivers to tell a story about the technology. It's not about who's bringing what percentage. It's about who's bringing what we need to be successful. Ford had no interest in being a full factory team, but rather just being a power unit supplier. Their contract with Red Bull runs until 2030. Max Verstappen had this to say, I talk a lot to Christian and Helmut, and a couple of months I knew it was getting serious. Although it's all about putting the deal together, it's very exciting, and once you commit to it, it can happen very quickly. Their way of thinking, performance, and commitment, it's very exciting, and they're excited too, which is really important. My thoughts on this, it could be good for Red Bull, but it depends on which Ford they're getting. Are they getting the high performance championship winning Ford, or are we getting the Ford that we see in memes? Red Bull have been very successful with their partnership with Honda, and Ford does have the EV technology where Red Bull also offers the aero. So it seems to be an equal partnership. Also, Ford gets the marketing because they're Badges are going to be all over the Red Bull car. Ford also gets the marketing exposure. Red Bull has been on an upward trend, being an independent unlike Mercedes and Ferrari teams, but are winning titles both with drivers and constructors. I think it will be great for both sides, as Ford is only providing the powertrains rather than an entire team. The announcement of Ford's partnership with Red Bull is sure to shake up the world of F1. With the 2026 season still a few years away, fans will have to wait and see what the new partnership will bring to the sport. Thank you for watching our video on Ford joining Red Bull in Formula One. We can't wait to see what the new partnership will bring to the sport. Leave a comment and let us know how you feel about Ford and Red Bull's partnership. Redbet signing off.